Hello, everyone. Welcome to Interstellar Chats. I'm Carlene Selg, and I'm here with our co-hosts, Kristen Anderson and James Spurrier. Hello, you guys. Welcome. I'm so glad to be here with you in this space.
Hello.
Hi.
Awesome. So today, let's talk about all the stuff that's happening with the energies. I know we've got two big giant full moons that are spectacular for this month of August 2023. And we have Lionsgate portal opening, all the things. So Kristen, what's happening on your end? What are you feeling with all these energies?
So I've been feeling a lot, and I've been talking to a number of girlfriends about this too, about like the shifting of all the masculine and feminine energies. That's one aspect. So women are coming to realize that their power is not in being more like a man, but being actually more surrendered and softer is where the power lies. And it's very confusing because it's sort of a new space because it's been hidden for so long. So how do we go about that? The old things that we were doing, like just power through, is just not working anymore. So trying to find those tools to move forward, it's almost like a scavenger hunt going on. It's very confusing. And I also was relating it, Carlene, to the fact that you said a few years ago, the big good and evil battle is done on this planet, right? And now it's sort of, we're not having to fight forward, right? Now we're in this place of blossoming and becoming. And it's new territory. It's like, oh, wait a minute. We don't have to battle it out. We don't have to fight. We have to flower. What is that? What does that look like? And how does that feel?
It's true, but I'm also still recognizing some of the inherent chaos that is happening with some of those dominant energies or some of the negative energies that are still here with some people, right? So I have a quick little anecdotal experience that happened just a few days ago. I had to get a new phone and we switched carriers. So we went from one carrier, Verizon, to AT&T, and we dealt with this amazing powerhouse of a woman on just over social media is how I met her. And then we connected and we got all the stuff done. I got new phones in the mail, all the things. She said, now all you have to do is go into the store and get a receipt for the trade-in of your phones, blah, blah, blah. Super easy, you would think, right?
Yeah.
But we walk into the store and I am slammed into the face with this masculine, toxic energy that is misogynistic. It is off-putting. And he was dismissive, just absolute awful person. Thankfully, my wife was with me at the time. And I was like, he said to me, because I had an Android phone and we were, had to switch it over or what have you, like, just do the trade-in. He's like, well, I'm an iPhone guy, so I really I can't even help you. And I was like, okay, hold on a second. Don't you work here? Like, you're the supervisor and you're the phone expert, and I believe probably iPhone and Android. So like, I was about to get in his face and my wife just kind of touched me because my hair is starting to get up on my shoulders and I'm ready to do battle with this guy. And she just disarmed him and she like killed him with kindness or something. I don't know what it was, but she's magical in that sense that she can, even though he was a total a-hole, she was able to just get in there and relate to him in a way where she took control of the whole conversation and was able to get us through that without any bumps and bruises. And I just shut my mouth and allowed it to happen. And when we walked out of there, I blew my lid, right? I was just like, whoa, what's with that effing guy, right? Like, I was so mad. And she was like, but we did it. And we know exactly who he was. He exposed himself. And we just shifted into the best way to relate to that chaos. And that was power. And I recognized it and was able to step back and allow her to take that whole conversation without me having to get upset, pissed off, make, have all my curses coming out of my mouth, all those things.
Right.
So it turned
I
into a
have
pleasant
noticed,
conversation.
I have noticed that around the full moon, before and after, a lot of things like you're talking about seem to happen for me. And I have the tendency to want to lie low a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah. So funny enough, when I was in the store, and I literally could walk to the store. It's 100 steps behind my house, right? The AT&T store is just, commercial is really close to my neighborhood. So anyway, he said, I had to get something. I don't remember what it was, like the number, the serial number for the phone. And Rita was like, why don't you run home and get that?
Oh
So
God.
it literally took my energy out of the store, which was perfect. So she could run the show basically and get done what we needed to get done. So it was just so perfect in the shift and watching it and experiencing it, and know that I don't have to even do battle with that chaotic energy, that I can just remove myself. And the tools are around me, and my wife was perfect to step in there and just take over that conversation. Are
It
you
sounds to
experiencing
me,
that?
it sounds to me like she just brought in that femininity,
Mhm.
that softness to the situation,
Yes.
which is that essence of softness, which is something that we're not really that used to.
Right.
And
I think it's
to
powerful.
allow it to happen is, it's a challenge. So kudos to you for
Right. But
walking out.
also,
Yeah.
I also want to say, like, she didn't roll over, right? Like she used her
Yeah.
words and her relationship building, and she was still able to take complete control of that situation.
Yeah.
And even at the end, she was like, oh, and what was your name again? I want to take your card, right? So she took her card with full intentions of reporting the guy,
Right.
in a customer service kind of manner. But he was
Yep.
just like, oh yeah, here you go. My name is Justin, blah, 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 whatever it was. And here's my card, and thank you. Bye-bye.
But
Yeah, that whole kill him with kindness thing is power.
Yeah, but you know what? I need to practice. I need to practice that, because that's not my strong front.
Yeah, mine either.
it seems like though that this time period is about balance. It's not necessarily about being more masculine. That might be what you particularly might need or not need. But I think each of us are balancing either our feminine or our masculine. And because the masculine has been so predominant here lately, that with this feminine energy that's moving in, it's just refreshing. And I literally can feel it on my body.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it is a rebalancing within each of us. I think but it is new territory, and it does feel weird, and it can feel really confusing if you're not used to feeling these energies. And I feel like they're also really powerful. Like you're feeling it. You might not know what you're feeling.
Right.
You might just feel a little confused and lost.
So
And,
let me ask you guys
strange.
a question, because for especially for our listeners, and for tools in our pocket, right? Like, let's say
Yeah.
I walked into that situation and it was completely toxic. There was only two guys in there, but they were of the same thread, right? They were both toxic, masculine energy that just did not want to help me for whatever reason. But what if I had walked in there by myself? What would you have suggested I do in that instance? Because I literally did not shift my energy until my wife touched me, which was able to bring me back into balance. Now, what if I walked in by myself? What should I have done? Walk out?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you would have to move into that compassion and love mindset.
You just call in assistance when you feel
Yeah.
it. You just call in assistance and you go, oh, okay, I need to call in my team. No one else can see them, but I know I've got the support.
Mhm.
Then you can face what you need to face.
Yes, that's a really good point, because I have been able to call in my team on certain occasions, but I think when I get triggered, like I was triggered in that moment, I'm not sure I would have gone to that immediately, but I am aware of my boundaries, and I may have just walked out, but that wouldn't have solved my problem.
Yeah.
So then maybe it's about being in present moment, because when you're really in the present moment, then you have a 365-degree scope and can really see the truth of what direction to go in.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
good point, James. I love that, because you're not thinking of what you should do or what you could do, or you're just like right there, super present. And you
And
do
breathing.
have a bigger picture. You see a lot more if you're in the now.
And breathing through it, right?
Right. And then when you get stuck, you just go above yourself. You're like, okay, I'm mired in the story of whatever is going on. And so then when you get above yourself and you go, oh, I see it, I can see clearly. And then you know which direction to go into, and you're not caught up into it with your emotions or judgment.
Yes, I love your perspective, James. This is one of the reasons why I so enjoy conversations with you, because you can take me out of the 3D problem solving and all that kind of thing directly into my higher self and be like, solve the problem from there. And I
Yeah.
love that perspective that you always help bring to me. So I love that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that would be what we all could use right now to deal with these energies is really that, James. Just be more present, more present, more present, more present.
Well, so what happens if it just seems like maybe if we get real present, that maybe that is a completely different reality, is the present moment, a complete separate reality that we just can't even tap into because we're not present.
Yeah, I mean, every time that I've been super present, and like that time that I just lifted on my body and just went through the door and down the stairs, and that is hyper presence.
Yes.
And if we're all there, if we were all that present,
Yeah.
wow.
I know we could solve all crises.
I
what
can't even
think,
imagine.
though, So what I think, though, Carlene, is like the guy in the store is a distraction from your present moment. So it's a lesson for work and to pull yourself to the present moment and
Mhm.
not allow ourselves to be mired into the stories that really don't align with our higher good in the
Yes. I am going to so remember that the next time that I get triggered. But here's the thing too, is it doesn't happen often, because usually I'm very chill, right? I can relate with people. I'm good at relationship building. But when I get that really toxic energy that comes full force in my face, I want to fight. And I'm going to start really recognizing it for what it is. And what you're telling me, James, is that it's coming at me to try to throw me out of balance.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I
Agreed.
am going to recognize it for just that and try to stay in alignment and stay in the present moment and not tell myself an untrue story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the truth is like any irritation, though, is a signal from your higher self that's your signal in that moment. When you feel the irritation, now you can either go one way or the other way. You can indulge your irritation, which generally doesn't have a great outcome, or you can redirect, and then that becomes commonplace.
Yes, because the practice, when we do it enough, it becomes our normal, our new normal. So I'm gonna keep that in mind for the next time. If it happens, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, I'm gonna be right there and stay in alignment for sure. But you guys, I want to also talk about the energies of this full moon because there's two of them right now in this month, right? So do you both feel as though your energies are being drained, or you're being uplifted, or you feel more energetic, or how are you feeling?
I actually feel benign. It, is what feels very strange, because usually, like I had mentioned, uh, right before the full moon, during the full moon, and a little after can sometimes be uh, energetically, I I can feel it, like something's going on, and I'm not feeling a lot, actually. I feel like I'm hunkering down a little bit, just because I'm used to not feeling great during that time. And right now, I don't feel a lot of the crazy energies that I know people are doing, but I think that also has a lot to do with um, here lately, since I had come back from my trip. I've been really doing a lot of meditation, and my dream state usually gives me a lot of information, and I haven't been sleeping. And so my meditation has really been my substitute for that. And so I think I just feel much more calm right now.
Yeah, so interesting, because I was about to say, had I not known that the full moon happened, or like that it was on, what was it, yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I would not have known energetically, because just like you're saying, benign or what have you. And I'm also wondering, does this have to do with some of the I guess some of the things that are being exposed about the moon itself and its relationship to the planet Earth, and it being more of a satellite than a real celestial body? So I'm just wondering if we're coming more online to the realization of its makeup, as far as its relationship with our beings and and Earth. I don't know. This is all speculation right now, but I'm just
Right.
wondering if maybe that has something to do with it,
Interesting.
right?
I don't know that I think whether or not the moon is a man, or uh, not even a real planet or moon or whatever. I think regardless, whatever is in space, in that space, is going to affect the planet
Mhm.
and the alignment of things. So whether or not it's organic or natural, I think it was placed there to assist with the tides and for life on
Regulation.
the planet, for
Yeah,
life on the
sure,
planet.
sure. That would be an interesting thing to dive into, huh? Maybe on
Yeah.
another
The
episode.
moon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about what they're revealing. I don't really watch the news, so I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah,
I
I don't
do
either.
know that I haven't been sleeping either. Last night, I think I slept 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
wow.
just
Me
up
either.
all night, and I utilized that time to also meditate and work on auric fields and, just commanding my own presence. So I've
Well,
been doing that all night.
can I say I've had not been able to sleep for quite a while, and so I have a lot of connection in my dream state, and without having that, I feel like my wheels have been spinning. So it really has led me into a deeper connection and finding answers more in my meditative state.
Mhm,
So that
mhm.
purpose. It's when I sit there and I go, oh, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. It's like, oh no, just get up and do your work, and
Right.
then all is fine. You know.
I did actually a little bit of that last night, because I woke up, I guess I woke up around 3 or 3:30, something like that. And instead of reaching for my phone, I reached for my ear pods, and I put them in, and I immediately put on gamma waves. And I was like, I'm just going to listen to this and see what happens in my body. And it was probably within 5 minutes of listening that I felt a whole alignment or something energetic happened throughout my whole side of my body that was very interesting. And as I'm aware of it, it's amplifying, right? Because I don't know if it was because I was putting energy into it as well, but it was absolutely something coming from the, I don't know, the outside or something, but it definitely had to do with those gamma waves. And it was, I don't even know exactly what it was, because I know that I was having some body issues. And when I woke up, I didn't have, especially in my knees. So I was like, huh, okay, I wonder if I was being repaired, worked on, that kind of thing, or if it was just an energetic realignment and not any master or loved one or healer doing anything for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that in my meditation and just mainly being in the present moment, that's when I really get the most assistance for my healing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah, that practice of being present and just living that presence, I think, is the most helpful tool. I think that's amazing what happened. You know, when you said gamma waves, it just reminded me of something I read recently about Spotify. I don't know where you listen to your sounds. Like, where do you get your sounds? Because I feel like everything right now is so digital,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And is it really in the proper frequency if it's digitized and then sent to different equipment and it's being pumped through earphones or the phone speaker or some Bluetooth speaker? Like, what are we actually really getting
That's
sound quality wise?
really interesting, because I actually get mine from YouTube, and when I read the caption, it said pure transmission of gamma waves, and they do something in the studio to ensure that you're listening to real pure gamma waves. And I thought that was interesting that it said that, and you're now asking me. So that's very, very
I
cool.
would I would love, maybe you can link it in the show notes,
Yes.
the video. How many hours is it?
There's one, well, the one that I was listening to was 8 hours.
Yeah, I like the long ones because they don't have commercials, because YouTube will like sometimes throw a commercial in there, which
Yeah.
is really bad if you're meditating. Oh
Right.
my gosh. Um,
Yeah,
but
we'll
yeah, like
definitely put
somebody, some,
show notes.
somebody told me that Spotify actually has shifted all the frequency up a couple hertz, so it's off kilter on purpose.
Okay, so let's back that up a second. Didn't Spotify just get recently bought by some other larger company?
This I don't know, because again, I don't watch the news.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
yeah, I don't know either. Again, we're not news watchers,
We're
so
not news watchers.
we're going by what
And
came across.
I'm not on Spotify either, so I don't do any of that.
Well, interestingly enough,
But the kids are doing these days.
our podcast is on Spotify. For the audience, we are on Spotify. We're on all the channels that you
Yes.
listen to our podcast, as well as YouTube. Personally, though, whether or not we're on the channel is neither here nor there. However, I want to say that possibly Facebook or some larger company may have bought Spotify. And if that's the case, I would not put it past them to increase those hertz to keep us out of the proper frequency of the gamma waves. So I will definitely do a little digging into that and put those notes in the show notes for the
Well, I
episode.
like what you're saying, but and I'm also though relating it to just music as well, because we've spoke about it before briefly, but if you really listen to the words of songs, some of those things I don't know that I want to be supporting. And it can be a popular song and get stuck in your head. And are you bringing credence to that? Like, everyone loves a good sad song. Are you bringing that into your life?
For
So
sure, for sure.
right? And so
Oh, yeah.
I've been struggling trying to find music to listen to that has words that I want to hear.
Right. So this
Mhm.
again is all very, very in line with the energies that are coming in right now, but also what we're bringing into our own systems and how we are plugging into a frequency of our choice, right? So all of these energies are, whether they're coming from somewhere else or coming from ourselves, it's very interesting because we're becoming more and more aware of the energy.
Yeah, I would really love to find an actual physical instrument that you could have in your home that
That
produced a
produces.
gamma wave.
Yes, let's do a little research on that. Let's find it. Let's find it.
Yeah, so that it's not digital. I'm like really
Yes.
tired of digital. And even going to see live music. I went last night to see a little live music, which I normally don't do. It was a restaurant that had a band playing, but you know, they put everything through the speakers and it just gets distorted.
Mhm.
But when you're listening to like an acoustic guitar, someone actually playing it, or a violin or a flute, like somebody sitting there playing it in a smaller room so you can feel that vibration of the sound,
Mhm.
it's just magical.
It
And
is.
as for words, like words are, words are spells. So yeah. And you have, you get those trendy songs and they are literally
Programs.
mass hypnosis
Mhm.
for
Exactly
creating
right.
future agendas through the
Right.
collective consciousness. Yeah.
Truly.
Scary. Scary.
You guys, I had such a trippy thing happen that I'd like to share. I don't know. I'm sorry,
Please.
it's not necessarily about energies, but it is about um, going into to deep meditation. And I asked a question because I have a friend that on a couple of occasions um, in a work environment um, has noticed that they come across as short in their delivery. Um, and this person has come to me on numerous occasions and asked me about it and what I got from it and my own experience, and I shared. And during my meditation, I asked what it was about. And what I saw was a switch, someone being switched with the switch. And so I was like, what is that about? So
Are you meaning,
I,
can I just ask a question? Are you meaning like they were switched on or switched off, or what kind of a switch?
a branch, like a switch,
Okay.
and
Oh,
so I was seeing that someone was being switched with a branch, you know, and so I asked this person if they had been switched with a branch before because I felt like that their shortness had to do with that. And ironically, they answered yes. And the worst beating that they ever received was with a switch. And what I got was the shortness comes from um, them seeing someone potentially doing something wrong, which would result in being switched.
Uh-huh.
wow.
And so, in that realization, you can switch that, you can change it,
Right.
and seeing that.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool,
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
and it confirmed for them too. So,
Yes,
That's very cool.
that confirms a lot for me as far as you and some psychic abilities, which is going to be in another episode. So we'll hold that.
okay.
But for now, I just want to really quickly just bring to the audience, what are your takeaways with this new energy that's coming in, especially now, especially in August, with Lionsgate portal opening, with the 2 super moons, not just regular moons, right, but super moons, and this shift in energy that we're feeling, and what are you experiencing? Drop a question or an experience that you have in the comments, and we'll get to them, and hopefully we can even bring some people on and have interviews here soon. I'm so looking forward to the interview part when we get to that. But absolutely, please do know that we are going to continue to put some more notes in the show notes and the comments about how to get a hold of maybe some gamma waves, that equipment, and also the link to the YouTube gamma waves that I was listening to. But I also want to just make a quick clarification that there is a very, very, very big difference between gamma waves and gamma rays.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
some are incredibly damaging and some are very, very good for your brain activity, for the neural capacities. And I don't even know all the words there, but there's something that has to do with our activation of our biology and how we are upgrading as humans that has to do with that combination of being in the field with the gamma waves and not gamma rays. Okay, so do know that there's a very, very big difference there. Anything else before we close? If you guys have anything left you'd like to say?
I think I'm
See you
good.
next- See you next time.
Excellent.
you
Well,
next
please,
time.
everyone, please follow us on YouTube and like and subscribe to our channel and share our our podcast episodes with your friends and family. We would love to get your feedback and anything that you want to share with us so we can add that to our topics of conversation. And we will see you next time on Interstellar Chats.
Bye.
See ya.